Hey everybody, this is Trish Jones, and today I want to ask you a question, and it's a question that I get asked very often, and that is, do you know what your passion is? Or more specifically, do you know how to find your passion? It's something that I get asked very, very often. A lot of people say, I just don't know what my passion is. I don't know what I'm passionate about. And for me, I find it kind of a bit difficult actually to understand why people don't know what their passion is. And so you could say that I have in the past not been incompassionate, I should say, but at the same time, kind of not understanding how people could not know what their passion is. But the truth of the matter is, if you don't know, you just don't know. And I know for years I would say to my husband, what are you passionate about? And he'd say, I don't know. I don't know, what I'm passionate about. And he'd mention a few things, and yet I could clearly see the things that would get him talking, as it were. I would know the things that he's really passionate about. But before I actually go on to talk about how you find your passion, the one thing I will say to you, however, is there are two questions that most people ask when it comes to passion and purpose that will literally, if they're not careful, put a huge roadblock in their way to actually pursuing their passion and their purpose. The first thing is, what is the passion? What is the one thing that I'm really, really passionate about that I have to do? I really have to do. And I have to say, some of the self-help gurus haven't helped, I should say, because they've said, what is the one thing, that you feel that you should be doing? And I'm being honest with you, there is no one thing. There is no one thing that you're passionate about, but I'll talk about that shortly. But you can actually combine passions to bring out the total uniqueness. The other question that people really get stuck on is very similar. It is, what is the ultimate purpose? What is the one thing that I'm on earth that I must get done above all else? And when you get stuck on those two questions, all it does is hampers you. And whilst I knew what I was passionate about, I didn't know what my ultimate purpose was. And I am telling you, for years, that thing really got to me. It's like, what is my ultimate purpose? Am I on track? Am I doing what I'm supposed to be doing? And, as I said to you before, all that it does is hampers you. And sorry if I mention this over and over and over again, okay? I just want you to get this. I just want to get this really, really clear. It will stop you doing what you're supposed to do. But what most people do is they almost look towards the target and they want to hit the bullseye first time. The minute somebody says to them, what are you passionate about? What is your purpose? And they start thinking about it, they look to the bullseye and they say, I must hit that mark, otherwise I can't do anything. And that is not the case. What I want you to think about is almost like a funnel, or the horizon. The horizon and a funnel starts off quite wide, okay, and then you might narrow. And let's take a funnel actually, because it's easier, or I could say sun rays. The sun rays are wide, but in order to get to the sun, you have to be more specific as you move towards your target. But what most people want to do is hit that target first time, instead of understanding that they've got to navigate the sun rays first. And the same with a funnel. When you pour something into a funnel, you've got the wide end of the funnel first before it goes down into that little tiny hole. Let's say it's water that you're pouring in, before it gets down to that, not tiny hole, but small hole to actually filter into whatever you're pouring the liquid into. You've got to go through the wide end. And so it's the same with life. What I should say, what gets you talking. What makes you tick. What ticks you off. You also know those things that your values. You also know what your values are. And when you put all of that together, it gives you an idea of the kind of things that you really want to do. Or let's think about that thing that you could spend hours and hours doing, and you don't even know that those hours have gone. You start at 11 o'clock, look at your watch, and it's 3 o'clock, and you're like, wow, where's the day gone? And you have really been enjoying yourself. Some of those things we take for granted as well, because we think they're nothing. I actually spoke to somebody last night who is fantastic at putting programs together, And she didn't see that as a gift. And I'm like, wow, I'd trade one of my gifts for your gift. She thought it was quite funny, actually. But, she said, wow, I'd never looked at it like that, that is something that I am really, really gifted at doing. And she is. She's really gifted at putting programs together. And so don't beat yourself up. Understand that when you have a wide idea, you can move gradually towards what that ultimate purpose might be. Some people may never really know what their ultimate purpose is. And we all hope that we get there, but understand as well that getting to that ultimate purpose may not take a month. In fact, actually, I'm going to say will not take a month, will not take a year, will not take 2 years. It could be, don't get discouraged when I say this now, it could be 20, 30 years down the line that you suddenly one day wake up and say, oh my gosh, I am doing exactly what I should be doing. But do you think those years behind you have been wasted? Absolutely not, because it's a journey. Life is a journey. And so hitting on your ultimate purpose is a journey. It's a process. And so God is a great economist. I love to say this. I got this from Cindy Trim, actually, so it wasn't my own. I wish it was. God is a great economist. He doesn't dismiss our experiences or things that have happened in our past in terms of what we've done. We can use all of those things for the task that we're doing right now, for the mission that we're on now, for the assignment that we're doing right now. And so don't get up every day and think, I can't move until I know what my ultimate passion is, until I know what my ultimate purpose is, because that will stop you moving forward. You have to take one step and then another step. You would not go on a 100-mile journey without putting the keys in the ignition, turning the ignition on, and drive out of your road. And when you get on the motorway, as we call it in the UK, or the highway, as you call it in the US, you don't know exactly what that road is going to look like, but you've just got to keep moving until you move from A to B. But don't get stuck at point A because you don't know exactly what point B looks like. You've got to check your heart. Does it feel right? Am I integrity with myself? Am I doing those things that I actually enjoy doing? Is this making me happy, or is it making me unhappy? Once you've established that it's something that's making you happy, you take those baby steps forward, which is why I'm sorry, I don't agree with some of these gurus who say take big, massive action, take big, massive steps, because you try and take big, massive action and big, massive steps, and you might actually step on that landmine that you didn't intend to because you've run ahead too early instead of giving yourself some time to move forward. And so I'm sorry, I know that some people are going to disagree with me on this, but I would much rather you took baby steps towards going in the right direction rather than flying off at breakneck speed in order to get there and hitting all the roadblocks, stepping on all the landmines that you could have missed had you just slowed down a little bit and just took your time. You can speed up. The momentum, once you get into something and you realize, this is what I'm supposed to be doing, you can speed things up later on. But when you start off, you're not on a 100-meter run, okay? You're on a marathon. So take your time and move towards your destiny. Take your time, get to know yourself, understand yourself, and I assure you that you will begin your passion. Your passion will begin to take shape. What you love to do will begin to take shape. And then one day, and as I said, it might not be next year, the year after, it could be many, many years, you'll wake up and think, wow, I'm doing exactly what I'm supposed to do. So I want you to comment. I also want you to subscribe to my video, comment and tell me, do you feel you're on the right track? Has this helped you in terms of finding your passion? You're still stuck? Tell me about it. I will respond to the video. Subscribe, as I said, and I'll see you next time. Ciao.